Now I thought I'd just make one up today, so I'm just going to give it a good wet first. Just going straight at it now. Just a good soaking on the paper. And I'm going light red, raw sienna, and then just sort of trying to leave a sort of lighter area coming down. Bit of burnt umber, ultramarine. I'm going to do this in 2 coats, so I'm going to dry it and then carry on with it, re-wet it and then carry on. So don't worry if you don't sort of get it all in one go, or if it looks a bit naff to start with, because this won't look great. But something like that. I'm just trying to, but you'll see when we sort of create the light down the middle. So a bit more red, a bit more ultramarine. And maybe even just like a few little clouds going down there, something like that. A few more going right off over there. Sort of coming in. Let's get a bit more dark. Let's go sort of burnt umber, ultramarine, nice and dark. Push a bit of that in. And then not forgetting, somewhere we want a bit of land. So, somewhere about here. I'll go over this again when on the next one. Somewhere like that, and then pull down a few reflections. Something like so. I've got my tissue. Bear with me one sec. I just had to pause it in for a sec while I grab some tissue. Now, I prefer kitchen roll. Reason being, I find toilet tissue, it just sort of breaks up too easily and it disintegrates, and half of it gets left on the paper. Well, you know, use it if you like. Kitchen roll just tends to stay in one piece a bit longer. Anyway, let's put a few clouds in. So I'm just going to now remember, I'm going to dry this and re-wet it and then carry on, so it's going to look a bit different to this. So I'm just seeing how it looks really. So you can hear it banging against the plywood, because you can see how it's stretched. See how it's come away from the board now. I can get my finger, in fact I can get my whole hand behind it almost. So then it's just a case of refix it. And then just getting a flat surface to work with again. Right. Now it's dried a bit too much now to continue, so what I'm going to do, get the air dryer, give it a good dry, make sure it's completely bone dry. An easy way to check if it is dry, just have a look alongside it, and if you can see the reflection from the light, you know it's still wet. See, I can see that's all dry there. I know I can be like that confidently. It's not going to come up on the hand. So now that that is dry, we can now re-wet it and have another bash at it. So cleaning the brush. Now I don't want it like that where the water's just dripping off it. I'm just taking a lot of the excess off, because what I don't want to do is start going like that and then you get like big dollops of water coming down. It creates a mark that you can't get rid of. So I want it wet but not too wet, so that the water's going to drip down the paper. So I obviously don't want it that wet, so I'm just taking the excess off on the lip, and then I'm going to just re-wet it all the way down, a bit more water. You can see because it's dry, it's pretty much stayed in the same place what we've previously done. Now that it's wet, it'll go nice and soft, and we can continue with our little made up scene. So there may be a bit more blue in there. It's darkening a bit more on this side. You can see, hopefully, see maybe it's a bit too wet down there. See how it's the water's trying to come down the paper. But I'm just making sure I try and preserve that light down the middle. Okay, we can put a few more of these little clouds coming down, something like that, even right across there. Maybe a bit more red. And let's redo that land bit. Again, burnt umber. I haven't cleaned the brush since I've started. Let's get that land in, nice and dark. It's still pretty wet. Put down a few reflections. A bit stronger. Burnt umber, ultramarine. Get a few little clouds in, back to the tissue. You can see I painted over everything I did before. Not to worry, let's just pop them back in again. A few little clouds up there. A few on the other side as well. And a few more coming down, a bit lower on the horizon. Just get that a little bit flatter. Just pop a few down there. Something like that. Just going to put that land in again because it's a bit, I want to get it a bit stronger. So I'll go for the darkest mix, burnt umber and ultramarine. Just pop that in. See how it's looking nice and dark now, and it's starting to dry. Again, just pulling down the reflection as I go along. More up there. And then in this foreground, a few little sort of ripples on the water. In fact, I might just change that to land. I should have the land on this side. I might put the land on this side, just give it a little sweep, something like that. I want to have the land on both sides, get over there. So now what I'm going to do, before I do any more, And give that a quick dry. Make sure that's flat. What I'm going to do is dip the tips of the brush in. So it's a nice chisel edge. And a bit wetter, just so that the paint comes off the brush a bit easier. If the paint's not coming off your brush very easy, just dip the tips in just to wet it up a bit. Stop it from coming to dry. And then when you've got something like so. Nice sharp edge. And then just sort of just like the sort of like mud flats really, just on the side there. Pop a few in on the other side. Push again. Some darker bits in. Even maybe a few little pebbles and stuff in the water. More on this side. Stick it up a bit higher. What I might do is switch to the flat brush, again really dark, nice and dark. And just pop a little boat up there somewhere. This we put in. I'm pop him up there somewhere. Little reflection. And little, put the mast in, don't forget the reflection. Switch to the rigger. Little few seagulls somewhere. A few little seagulls up here, I think, somewhere. Again, I'm just trying to keep them very small and sort of. Oh, there. Maybe even a little. No, I won't put a figure in. I'll leave that. And then, last but not least, pop your name on there. I think I'll call that one finished. Just give it a quick dry. And there's our finished painting. So let's have a closer look at it. So there's our finished painting, so let's go in a bit closer. So what I was very keen to do was preserve these lighter areas down the middle and across there, and then reflect the sky into the water, so we got this nice light reflection. You can see how this land, I put this land in 2 or 3 times just to, because obviously when it's wet it's hard to get a nice strong tone, so just keep adding to it. Don't forget to pull down the reflection as you go along. Bit of tissue in the sky helps create these little bits of cloud variation and texture, and a few more on the other side. Obviously the clouds get smaller and smaller as they go off into the distance over the horizon. We've got a few like little mud flats there. Again, to get it dark, put it on, dry it, and then put it on again. That way you'll get it dark. If you just keep putting it on wet paint on top of wet paint, you won't get anywhere. A few little scrapes with the card helps create a few little rocks and pebbles on the shoreline. We've got our simple little boat there. Remember again, don't forget the reflections, and a few little birds in the sky. Well, I hope you like that. Keep practicing. Any questions, please ask, and I'll see you again soon.